So, hello there, and welcome back to the channel. This is Mels Gaming, here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now, I'm just going to start off by saying it, this video is probably going to be an absolute mess. We have a ton of clips to get through, from all different maps, all kinds of different species, diamonds, rares, and some of these clips are really old, like from during my Great One bear grinding. Some I think are actually a little bit maybe before that. There's just a lot of clips in this video. None of them are particularly new until the very last one, which was in the last couple of days. So it's a whole mix of different things. Starting off with this beautiful orange Raccoon Dog. Now, while we take a look at this, I do just want to say I have no idea when the next video is going to be, and I know it's been forever since I posted, but please bear with me. I'm going through literally everything life can throw at me at the moment, from heartbreaks and family, illnesses, and me being unwell. I still can't even hear properly, and so recording feels really weird because I can't hear my own voice quite right. And yeah, just literally everything that you can imagine is kind of just going on at the minute, and so I haven't even had much time for gaming, if I'm honest, because it's just trying to get through everything has just been tricky. So I literally don't know when the next video will be. I have footage for other videos, but it's just when I feel like I can sit down and record them. So I'm trying my best, but there is a lot of clips in this video, like I said. Now, I mentioned that there was a few from during my bear grind, and these elk that you're going to see in the next few clips, including this beautiful 512.26 scoring diamond light grey Rocky Mountain elk, they were all shot whilst I was doing my bear grind. Now, we actually had a level 2 albino show up as well, and obviously this was after the changes where the black bears and Rocky Mountain elk drink at the same time. They got changed so that the bears drink in the early morning at the same time as the Rocky Mountain elk. And because the Rocky Mountain elk were there, if I had, no bears in a particular zone or whatever, I'd shoot a couple of bull elk. And that's how I ended up getting these random trophies as respawns. I wish this albino had been a little bit bigger. I've only ever had, quite small albino Rocky Mountain elk, and it's a shame because they're quite a rare animal. It took me ages to get my first albino, and both of the two that I have are really unfortunately quite small. So one day it would be nice to get a really good size one. Now here we have another level 5 elk. Again, these guys just kept popping up. As I was just casually shooting elk, I wasn't herd managing them, I wasn't, being, really intensely grinding them. It was just, okay, there's a herd of elk over there and no bears this time, I'll shoot 2 elk or 3 elk from this herd and see, if I get a lucky respawn. And I did have quite a few nice ones. This guy's actually a max weight at 480 kg on the dot, 511.95 score, so a pretty high scoring diamond too. So I was getting some really nice trophies, sort of as bonuses whilst on the bear grind. This guy was also a pretty nice looking level 5. See, as you can see there was 2 elk stood there, so I decided to take the elk, even though this is part of my bear setup. Now, I really like the rack on this level 5. The way those tines curl in and up, really, really, really nice. That is very pretty. I love this guy's frame. Now, he only scores 504.20, so one of the lower scoring diamonds, but that's still a good score, really, and I just really like that frame. But talking of frames that I like, this guy showed up. Now, if you know me, I like the unusual things, especially when it comes to things like antlers or fur types. And as soon as I saw this guy, I knew he was a bit odd. Look at how flat this guy's antlers are. I've not ever seen a Rocky Mountain elk with a frame that's ended up this flat. It's really unusual, and when I first saw him, I was like, what is going on with this guy? So, just a really interesting and different looking diamond. 505.51 on the score, so just a cool one, a bit different, something a bit unique, and that was just a really cool thing to get as a little bonus. Now, the next two clips, including this one of this level 3 roe deer, were actually taken whilst I was doing my road to 100% completion of the Hunter Call of the Wild achievements. So I was going across all different maps, having to hunt different species for different missions, and this particular mission I had to create some hunting pressure in this area, came to these fields, and there was a level 3 roe deer. Now, he was spooked when I initially saw him. I tracked him for ages, and that was my best opportunity at a shot I had in quite a while of tracking this guy. So I decided to take a risky shot, and it paid off. 226 metres with the 243 handgun. We got into that right lung and we did actually get a diamond out of this guy at 84.20. So a really good size diamond as well. But 4.28 kilometre track distance, and he just kept going back over his own tracks and just spooking really easily. The wind was never in my favour. It was just a pain. So when I saw that shot opportunity, I decided to risk it for the biscuit, and it did actually pay off. I actually managed to get that shot, so all ended up okay. And it was nice to get a diamond roe deer. I haven't had one of those in quite a while. Then I ended up finding this guy, a piebald red deer stag. Now, unfortunately, he is on the smaller end as a level 6, but it's still cool. I don't know, something about finding trophies on Hirschfelden always feels really cool, because when I first started playing Call of the Wild, Hirschfelden was the map that I was really drawn to, because it had the most similar species to where I live in the UK, and there's just something special about getting Hirschfelden trophies. It's always felt kind of nostalgic, so I really actually enjoyed getting those two trophies. Now, as I was also working on getting 100% achievements for Call of the Wild, I had to grind grey wolves in order to try and get an albino. And whilst that was occurring, I ended up actually getting a few diamonds as well. I had such an unfortunate thing happen at one point. A pack of wolves attacked me, and I swear I spotted every wolf. And I just shot them all as quickly as possible, I think with the 300, because there was like 10 wolves attacking me. And then I picked them up, and I saw a gold get collected. I was like, hang on a minute, I shot these with the 300. That must have been a diamond. Opened my latest harvest, and it would have been a max score. Diamond grey wolf. I was absolutely heartbroken. I don't know where he came from. I don't know. It was in the dark. Like I said, there was a lot of wolves attacking me. It was just a really unfortunate thing to happen. And because I didn't know there was even a level 9 there, no footage of it, so big rip on that one. But we do have a nice diamond caribou here, so that was a nice bonus to get. 456 score, so nice to get, seeing as they troll so much. That was a really nice little bonus find while over on Yukon. Now on Parquet, I had to do the Diamond Challenge to get a diamond of all of the original species on Parquet Fernando. Now, whilst looking for a diamond water buffalo, I ended up spotting this guy, a level 4 orange fur type water buffalo, which is actually a rare. Now, with Sundar Patan, the water buffalo got a complete remaster. They look completely different now to what they did when this map originally released with this species. And this was my first time seeing an orange water buffalo actually on the hoof and out in the environment. I'd seen them in lodges and stuff, but this was my first time actually seeing one out in the game. And it was really cool. And it's extra cool because this guy is so wonky. Like, look at the difference between those horns. And I love stuff like this. A rare that's really unique is so cool, because obviously the fur type, it adds to the uniqueness because it's a rare fur, but then you have something like a deer with really lopsided antlers, or like this water buffalo with really lopsided horns, and it just adds to the cool factor for me of that rare. Now, also, of course, on that list of species that I had to hunt for that diamond challenge were blackbuck. And I found several blackbuck trophies sat on my map whilst looking for a diamond. I did actually get a troll blackbuck as well during that grind, but I found so many female rare blackbuck. And this was the first of them, a leucistic female. Now again, these guys got a remaster with Sundar Patan, and this was my first time seeing a leucistic out in the game. Again, I'd seen them in the trophy lodges, but not out on the hoof. And they're just so beautiful. They're like little angels. Something about their colouring, to me, is just so gorgeous. It's actually got to be one of my preferred leucistics in the game. I just think they're stunning. Now, as well as that leucistic, I ended up finding several piebald female blackbuck, and we're going to go through all of the ones I found in these next clips. And it's been really interesting to me because, again, these guys got a remaster with Sundar Patan, and they had 2 new fur types added. 2 new rare furs being piebald and albino. Now, when I stumbled across a piebald track for a blackbuck in the early access for Sundar Patan, I was completely blown away, and that was actually a female, and then subsequently I found a male piebald blackbuck, and that's kind of really how these guys got discovered, was through the early accesses. So it was a really cool thing to find a few more. It does seem that on the spectrum of rare blackbuck, but piebalds are quite common, but they are gorgeous. And that's the thing with most species, that piebalds, if they have that as a rare, will be like the most common of the rare furs, if that makes sense. So like a piebald whitetail is, you'll see more piebald whitetail than albinos or melanistics, if that makes sense. And it definitely seems to be the case with blackbuck. You see way more piebalds than leucistics, melanistics, or albinos, which seem to be really rare. Now, another little bonus wolf clip here. And I actually ended up shooting this level 9 at 400 meters as he was just about to get out of render. Shot a little bit far back, but clipped the liver and managed to keep the diamond medal. But I think that has to be one of the further shots I've taken on a diamond, especially a diamond that was walking. And I just basically was like, okay, I'm just going to go for it, seeing as I was getting so many diamond wolves. And I looked at his score estimate and I was just like, I'll just take a risk and see if I can get a shot. And so the fact that I actually managed to get him and keep the diamond medal, I was pretty happy with. And then we have this guy, 39.76 scoring diamond. That was really nice to get. I've never had really any very big diamond grey wolves. I've had a few. These were a species that took me forever to get a diamond of. They were one of the, when I was like originally trying to get all of the species diamonds in the game, like a few maps ago, grey wolves were one I really struggled with. They just always seemed to troll. So it was nice to end up getting quite a few out of that grind, but I so wish I had got that max score. That's going to haunt me forever. That was so heartbreaking. But going over to Te Aurora, where I was checking on my red deer, and I spotted a level 3 European rabbit. At this point, I was actually testing my red deer respawns post Sundar Patan release, and this guy just came hopping out of some burrows that I've been near so many times, and I just must never have spotted that rabbit. So that was really interesting to actually find. Not the most common of diamonds, so a pretty nice one to just find as a bonus like that. Now we have another piebald red deer here, this time a piebald hind. Now I'd actually had this one on my map for a little while, and just every time I came here I was focusing on shooting the stags, because I was actually at one point trying to do a little bit of a red deer grind here on Tay, just for the fun of it more than anything, something to do in between maps. And I had this piebald hind on my map for a little while, and I was just always focused on shooting the stags, and I wanted to actually record it, because I actually personally prefer the piebald pattern on the female red deer as opposed to the males. I think the hinds are much prettier than the stags, and I really wanted to make sure I got a decent clip of it, so I finally took her out and we have another piebald down. Now heading over to Emerald Coast, and we have another rare female animal, this time a melanistic bantang. Now I have been trying for ages, since the release of this map, to get rare male bantang. I have had multiple melanistic females and an albino female, but not one rare bull, none at all, which I've grinded them in single player and I've hunted them a ton in multiplayer. And I just really want to find a rare bull. It would be nice to get, you know, a level 3 or higher, but I just really want to get some males to go in the lodge, because the females are really pretty, But because of the size of plaque that you have to put these guys on for a shoulder mount, they just don't fill the spot that well, especially as females. So a little bit unfortunate that it was a female, but nonetheless always cool seeing a rare bantang. I really do like the bantang as a species. Now, moving on, and we're actually hunting kangaroos, and we have a rare that I had never seen before. This is an albino kangaroo. Now, I was basically at this point just hunting other maps in multiplayer, see if I could find any sort of random trophies, things that I would like to find that I hadn't, things like some of the rare crocodiles, albino and melanistic kangaroos, etc, etc. And I ended up finding this level 4 albino female, and I was so excited to finally see something other than a leucistic kangaroo, because I've had multiple leucistics, but never an albino or a mela. And I really, really wanted to see one in person, because I've seen so many pictures of them posted on, you know, various discords, but I thought it would be so cool to have one for the lodge. Now, in my head, in my ideal scenario, I would love an albino male and a melanistic male to put in the fighting multi-mount, but I'm just happy to actually finally get some rare kangaroos other than just leucistics. Now here we have another albino female, which I thought it was so funny. The amount of kangaroos I was hunting, and the only rares I were finding at all were female animals on Emerald Coast. It was just like a curse for a little while of only getting female rares for whatever species I was going after, and you'll see a few more in the next few clips. Now, kangaroos can be tricky, especially when you're trying to get a good shot when they're, you know, walking around and you're trying to get them to stop. And as you will have seen, I made this female go alert, and that makes them stand up, which gives you the best shot at getting a shot into those vitals. But as I took the shot, she ducked down slightly as she was about to go down onto sort of all fours, and that shot did not get through to the vitals. Now, thankfully, this is a level 2 female, so not only is it a female, but it's smaller than the first that we got, and obviously we're going to get no medal for this considering we messed it up. So yeah, being a level 2 female and messing it up, not the greatest, but hey, it's another albino, and as I have talked about in this video, things don't always go to plan. Whether it's the situation with that max score Grey Wolf or things like this, it doesn't matter how much you play this game, sometimes mistakes are going to happen. Shoot enough animals, and I've shot a lot of them in this game, you're going to make mistakes sometimes. Sometimes you're going to slightly mistime stuff. It happens. And all you can do is move on and try again. Learn from it and just try again. Now, speaking of rare female kangaroos, we have yet another one. This is a leucistic female kangaroo, actually with one of my more favourite leucistic variants, because there are multiple leucistic variants for the grey kangaroo. And I really like this one because of the black tipped tail. It's quite a unique leucistic, and it just stands out, I think, a little bit better than some of the other leucistic variants. Like, I knew this was a rare from quite a distance away. Because of the lighting, I wasn't sure what I was looking at, but it was obviously different. Like, it had much brighter fur, much different looking to the rest of the kangaroos in the group. But yeah, the leucistics are the ones that I've found the most of, and it would be nice to get a rare male kangaroo of any kind. So hopefully that'll be something that we can achieve one day. Now here we have a legendary crocodile. Now, I wasn't out hunting for diamond crocodiles, I'm out looking for rares. The only rares I've had for the crocodiles are a light brown, I think on release day in multiplayer, or very close to release day, and an albino, actually 2 albinos. So I really would like to get melanistic, piebald, leucistic. I have lost in multiplayer not only a leucistic, but also a melanistic, due to server disconnects, and it's been so frustrating to lose 2 rares because of server issues. Really, really heartbreaking. 2 rares that I didn't have. Such an oof. The first, the leucistic that I lost, was a female, but the melanistic was a good size. I think level 7. And I was so upset losing that melanistic. I really was heartbroken. I was like, really game? really, when I find this, you're gonna actually end up having a server disconnect. But again, it's just gotta carry on, and hopefully I'll find another one. That was actually a very good size black fur type female feral goat. Black fur type full feral goats is a rare. It might not seem like a very obvious rare, but it is a rare for them. And the horns on that female were actually bigger than horns I've seen on quite a few male feral goats. So I wasn't too disappointed with actually getting a female there. That was actually quite cool. And I've not had a whole lot of rare feral goats, so I was actually quite happy to find that one. But here we have a piebald female hog deer, and at this point you're probably seeing the pattern of female rares. And I was like, at this point, I was like, okay, can we get some males, please? Because it would be nice to, you know, get some higher scoring rares to go in the lodge. But I absolutely love the piebald female hog deer specifically. I think that for both hog deer and rooster deer, that the piebald females far outclass the piebald males in terms of beauty. They have such unique patterns, and in fact, they're kind of similar if you compared them, the rooster female piebald pattern and the piebald pattern on the female hog deer. It's very similar with the sort of markings on the underside and the face and then along the back. They're actually quite similar, and I wonder if that's why I like them both so much. But I much prefer them to the males. They're much cleaner looking and more distinctive and unique, in my opinion. When I first found my piebald male hog deer, I was questioning whether it was a rare. Like, I looked at it and I was like, is that just the lighting or is that actually a piebald? Every time I've seen a piebald female hog deer, it's like, oh, immediately, that's a rare. Which, you know, it's cooler the more things stand out, in my opinion, if they are a rare. So I wish this was a variant that the males could have, but they look so good on the females. Maybe one day we'll get some multi-mounts where we can use the female rooster and hog deer, and then I can use the piebalds in that. But for now, I'll have to find somewhere in the lodge where I can display them. And sticking with piebald females, we have a piebald female red fox. Now, these guys got a rework with New England Mountains, which, thinking about the release of New England Mountains, it feels like forever ago now. But these guys got a complete remodel and just a beautiful fur rework with New England Mountains. And since then, I've only had a couple of rare red fox, and these piebalds are just stunning. Every time I've had a piebald since this rework, I have to stop and just look at them. Because look at that. It's gorgeous. That fur is so pretty. I absolutely love what they did with the piebald red fox. That is so gorgeous in my opinion. Absolutely stunning. Now, for the end of this video, we are going to be moving back to one of my top favourite maps in the game, where we started this video, back to Revontuli Coast. And we're actually going back to Revontuli Coast with another rare raccoon dog. We have a dark brown. Now, this guy was right outside a lodge on this multiplayer map. Literally, I think it was the first track I picked up outside this lodge. So, obviously, I checked and made sure that it was a legit server, which it was. I found nothing else. But it was so funny. I joined the server, picked up a track, and immediately onto a rare. And then nothing else the rest of the server. So funny how that goes sometimes. Now, here we have a diamond willow ptarmigan. I haven't had one of these in forever. And this guy was such a pain. You'll see in chat, I was saying, finally got him on a long shot because he spooked early as I was trying to get close to where he was. This guy gave me the runaround for quite a while, and this clip is so old now at this point. I've just been waiting to put it in a video, but it has to go in a video because I actually was really, really happy with that trophy. But then we had early access for Sundar Patan, and then everything in my life going on, it's just been like getting delayed and delayed when it was going to go in a video. So what better one to go in than just a mix of random trophies and me rambling about things. But for the final trophy in this video, I ended up getting one of my dream trophies here on Revontuli Coast in the last couple of days. This is a gold plumage type female black grouse, and you may have heard me talk about wanting one of these, if you've seen previous videos of mine, these guys are rare. Like, really rare. I've seen only a couple posted, and just, they don't ever seem to show up. I've hunted so many black grouse looking for a gold female, and as soon as I saw this one, I thought that looks different. Ended up tracking her for quite a while, saw the flock flying back over towards me, and as soon as I could see those females, I knew that it was this one. Just so gorgeous, those bright gold feathers. I mean, look, as it, like, rotates around in the screen, the shine on those feathers, it is like a metallic gold. Everything I wanted is, you know, this is what I dreamed of with getting a gold female black grouse, was that it would have that shimmer and shine to it, and it really does. It sticks out as a rare, because there's a couple of rares for the female black grouse specifically, orange and gold, and I've had several orange females, but this was the one I really wanted, because it's a unique rare. And every time I was on Revontuli, I'd pick up gold brown bear tracks, and I would see that the gold come up on the disturbed veg, and I'd be like, oh, could this finally be it? And then open the map and it would be a brown bear. So when I finally found this the other day, this is a, like, major tick trophy for me. I really, really, really desperately wanted to get one of these, so I'm super happy. Still in search of the ever-elusive diamond mountain hare, which I don't think exists at this point, because I've seen far too many hares. I think it's all a conspiracy, and everybody's lying to me that those animals can actually make diamonds, because I can't seem to find one. And, yeah, I'm going to continue looking for a diamond mountain hare. I will find one. It is the last diamond in this whole game that I need, and I'm determined to try and get one. I'm going to keep trying my absolute best, and there's always potential to find just stunning trophies like this along the way. So I'm more than happy to keep searching, but hopefully eventually those hares will cooperate and actually finally give me a diamond. Like, I have been looking since the release of this map so hard for a diamond mountain hare, and I have tracked so many max weight estimate tracks only to end up with level 2s that aren't even really that close. So maybe one day we'll finally get the diamond mountain hare. But that is going to be it for this video. I know it's a super long one. Hopefully that kind of makes up a little bit for the lack of videos in the last, I don't even know how long at this point, because one day is kind of merging into the other at the moment. But like I said, I really don't know when the next video I post is going to be. I'm going to try and get more footage and stuff, but I'm just trying to just keep on trucking with everything that's going on. So yeah, that's basically the situation. So hopefully it won't be too long, but I can't be sure when the next video will be. I really, really hope you have enjoyed this. Like I said, a lot of clips, a lot of different maps, a lot of different species, so quite a mix and variety in here. So hopefully a bit of an interesting one, and that gold black grouse is definitely the highlight for me. I'm so stoked about that. But that is going to be it for this video, so thank you all so much for your support as always, and for your patience in between these uploads, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.